唔係啊，唔係你哋啊，你哋有興趣啊可以睇嘅，即係睇下啲 set up 啫，冇嘢嘅。Form 6。Okay, good morning, class. Please be reminded, there is a homework 呢個之前 Tuesday 俾落嘅呢個 reactivity 就星期日標㗎啦，星期日。It is reactivity 1 of chapter 11 MC 嚟啫，記住做咯。It is the first piece of homework. And then yesterday there is another one. Another one 咧就係呢度，琴日俾嘅嗰3條同你哋一齊做嘅，仲有4個同學未交喎。嗱，仲有 Ruby、Saru、Pavitra 未交，我俾多今日，如果唔係咧 ，sorry 啦，下個禮拜要罰啦嚇。即係 remind 咗你，都係唔交的話咧，唔係而家交啊，而家交咧就我即刻罰㗎。即係而家做就即刻罰，你今日做我都唔罰住。唉，好煩啊！不如星期日啦。係咯，你 check 嚟 check 去好煩啊！係呢個唔係呢一個。係咪呢個啊？咦，我唔記得咗，唔係。唉，唔知講緊咩啊？呢個。14號係咪即係星期日啊？係啊。咁我頭先想做咩咧？Ch12 exercise 係啦，我真係已經疏疏地㗎啦。我喐一喐咧就唔記得咗自己做緊乜啦。呢份啊我，但係點解唔見咗嘅？係啊，你會走㗎，我知啦。會突然間咧會走咗去第二個 topics 嗰度㗎。蘇德唔怪得知啦，唔係我思覺失調，原來係佢突然間走咗位。好，都係星期日。好啦 ，and today let's start chapter 12. Continue 啊，應該啊 with chapter 12 up to 咧 12.4 啊，教咗㗎啦 ，empirical formula 都測咗㗎啦 ，chapter 12 越嚟越多數計啦，所以今日咧大家應該會好辛苦啊嚇。好 ，please turn to this page. More molar mass, number of mole, empirical formula, molecular formula, structural formula is not so easy. I'm not going to talk about in form 4. After organic chemistry, I will talk about how to deduce its structural formula. And then we have already gone through all these. And so let's turn to this page. Limiting reactant and reactant in excess. Okay, now, let's turn to this example. 咁我要開一份 notes 先啊，唔好意思啊，你哋睇一睇呢個 example 先啦。咁我而家咧要 upload 一份 notes 上去，咁我睇睇份 notes 擺咗邊先，好似擺咗呢部電腦裏面嘅，有一個 blank 嘅 file 嘅，因為擺得太多啦 ，download 呢個。睇下有冇啊 Saru 個名先，如果有咧就最新。 新嘅有係呢個先改名，今日係12號11月嘅 notes， 然之後就 upload 上去。Notes for lesson 12. Create material. Notes for chapter 12. Upload the file. 11月嘅啦，今日係喎，就擺喺 Notes for lessons 嗰度。Post。然之後咧就會開條 link 先。唔好意思啊，我而家做嘢咧要一路噏住自己做緊乜㗎。如果唔係咧，我唔記得咗要做啲乜㗎。Copy 條 link， 一陣間做 classwork 嘅話咧，大家咧就要入嚟呢條 link 裏面啦。Notes for 呢個 edit add link。Add link， 4好同學啦，有時間咧可以入呢度啦，唔係有時間，所有同學應該話，所有同學入翻呢個 file 裏面 ，add 咗條 link 啦 ，Notes for Chapter 12呢個 today date Tammy。OK， 我見到人入緊嚟啦。And then remember together with 呢一個嘅 Chapter 12 example, I'm talking about this example, okay? Now, in chemistry, we have already learned about chemical equation. Chemical equation must be balanced. Now, let's look at its application. 佢嘅應用喺邊度啦？ Let's look at example 12.11. Determine the mass of a reactant from the mass of another reactant. 嗱，你哋可以咁㗎，我中意同下 iPad 㗎。你哋如果冇帶書，因為我容許你哋唔帶書 ，OK？ 咁嘅話咧，你又想用你哋嘅 iPad 去寫嘢嘅話咧，你又想睇嘢，你可以借多個 iPad 㗎，或者你哋眼睛夠視力啦，就可以一開二，你識個嗬？將個 iPad 有兩個 Windows 嗰啲嚇，咁你可以 at the same time 睇埋呢個 examples，OK？ 咁我咧就要咁做啦，要拉開佢 ，otherwise 話咧就睇唔到個書。或者 ready 咯，好啦，大家如果個 screen 太細，入嚟個 Zoom 度啊，入嚟個 Zoom 嗰度啊，睇個 Zoom 啦，因為冇辦法啦，除非我，因為我 I'm afraid 咧 ，you are not following what I have said 啊。所以咧入嚟個 Zoom 度啊，大家可以近距離睇一睇。即係咧，你個 iPad 咧有好多功能啊，又有 Zoom 啦，有開咗個 Tammy 啦，要開咗阿公嗰個咧，同開自己個 file 嘅。今日 ready 未 ？OK。咁入 Zoom 嘅時候咧，就唔好打呢啲啦。咩一個唔知咩符號，唔知邊個人嚟嘅？呢個3點就唔知邊個人嚟嘅。嗱，唔該，好似平時上堂咁啦，打翻你自己個名啦，好嘛？係啦，打翻自己個名，係啦，文件入咗嚟啦。Because I'm afraid those at the back can't see the screen clearly. That's why I invite all of you to go to the Zoom, okay, to have a closer look. 哦 ，ready 咯。呢個哦 example 嗱，我做幾個 example，跟住就俾你哋做㗎啦。Example 12.1， 我落去我個 page 先。呢度 example 12.11， 唔好開聲嚇大家，如果咪有 feedback 嘅。好啦 ，magnesium reacts with copper 2 oxide。Magnesium formula for magnesium is Mg 啦。React with copper 2 oxide with formula CuO 啦 ，because Cu2 positive, O2 negative. You know that displacement reactions occur. Copper will form, and then another one is magnesium oxide with formula MgO. MgO, okay? Next, change the pen to another color. You must check is this equation balanced. Now it is already, so I'm sure you add any coefficients. The question said that calculate the mass of magnesium. Now, what do I need there? I will let it be M. Now, it is different from mathematics. Mathematics say you say let be M. In chemistry, you may write down the unknown down below the equation. Okay, and then required to react completely with 7.95 grams of copper 2 oxide. Now, based on the equation and then based on the information given from the question, write down the information. Now, what should be the first step? 我呢度放大少少啦，因為咧睇完啦個題目。Now, the first step, everybody, please listen. The first step, I need to work out the number of moles of copper 2 oxide. It must be the first step, okay? Because the equation tells us that 1 mole of Mg will react with 1 mole of CuO. The mole ratio is 1 to 1. Now, actual number of moles of copper 2 oxide is equal to the mass of copper 2 oxide over molar mass of copper 2 oxide. 好啦，嗱 this step do not skip this step at Form 4 because it helps you a lot to clear your concept. Write down what are you calculating. Like even though 我咁沉氣，我會見到啲同學咧係會寫算數。It is not acceptable. What are you calculating? Number of moles of what? Number of moles of CuO. In other words, of 呢個字好緊要啊。What are you calculating? It is equal to the mass of copper 2 oxide. It is given 7.95 grams over molar mass of CuO. How to work out molar mass of CuO? Atomic mass of Cu is 63.5, and there is 1 oxygen plus 16. Molar mass with unit gram per mole. This is the unit for molar mass. And then take out your calculator, help me to solve for it. Everybody, 唔好淨係用眼睇下，幫我攞計數機嚟啊！唔該，因為我一定要教大家要寫同埋計數機撳7.95除括弧63.5加16三括弧等於0.1。單位係乜嘢咧 ？Let's check 啦，單位啦 ，gram over gram 約咗1 over per mole is mole. Understand? 好啦 ，according to the equation, the mole ratio of Mg to Cu is 1 to 1。呢度我唔寫嘅，我唔會好似書咁樣寫嘅，因為咧我會散嘅呢個 step。嗱，但係 anyway，because it is the first time 啦 ，so I will write down mole ratio。呢個可以散嘅 of Mg to CuO is 1 to 1。佢哋嘅比例1比1。Therefore 咧 ，number of moles of Mg should be equal to 0.1 mole. The ratio is 1 to 1. That means your number of mole is equal to my number of mole. Yes? Because of the equation, after I have got a balanced equation, the meaning, 咦，我好似之前講咗，可能大家唔記得咗啦。The meaning of equation means when 一粒 Mg will react with 一粒 CuO to form 一粒 Cu and 一粒 MgO. I change everything to mole because you know that in chemistry it is impossible to count the number one by one. I need to count their number by mole。記唔記得 mole 其實即係粒，唔好驚 mole 即係dozen，OK？ 單位嚟嘅啫，只不過係一個數嘢嘅方法嚟嘅啫。And then the equation said that 唔記得咗唔緊要啊，問得好啊。我唔記得咗呢度嘅話咧，我哋開翻本書先。Chapter 12。我應該有書啊，呢個好似係 UT 之前講過嘅呢度。嗱 ，if we have a balanced equation 2 to 1 to 2, what does it mean? It means that 2 moles of Mg will react with 1 mole of O2 to form 2 moles of MgO. Do you remember? Do you remember this information from your textbook? 呢行，唔係呢行，得唔得 ？And now in this lesson, I am using the information given from the equation to deduce the number of mole of another substance。好啦，咁嘅話我要寫啦，藍色呢句，而家明未啊？廖嘉慧 ，OK。And then because of the equation, it is 1 to 1. Therefore, number of mole of CuO is already found 0.1. Then number of mole of Mg should be also equal to 0.1. 好啦 ，number of moles of Mg can be found in another way. That is equal to its mass M over mass of Mg over molar mass of Mg. Once again, do not skip this step. Okay, and mass is equal to M. I have let it be unknown M. Atomic mass of Mg, it is given, it is 24.3. Can you follow? Both are working for the number of moles. That means they should be equal to each other. That means M over 24.3 should be equal to 0.1. I have already set out an equation. Solve for M. M therefore is equal to 24.3 times 0.1. That is 2.43 gram. 唔使咁計數機啦，乘 0.1 嘅意思即係除10，即係除10褪一個小數點就得啦。Understand? Or maybe I will show you more and more examples 先至俾你哋自己做啊嚇。Now let's look at self-test 12.11。我做多條先。12.11 Magnesium react with lead 2 oxide. According to this equation, self-test 12.11. Now, in chemical calculation, the first step must be equation, balanced equation. Now it is given. This balanced equation said that 1 mole of Mg will react with 1 mole of PbO to form 1 mole of MgO and 1 mole of Pb. Understand? Okay? And then the second step, look at the question. The question said that it asked me to work for the mass of Mg, so let it be M. To react completely with 10.55 gram of PbO. So let it put it down below the equation. And then what should be the next step? 計咩啊？知道到一個 mass 可以計邊個啊 ？number of mole of 邊個啊？冇錯啦。Obviously, this must be the first step. Number of mole of PbO. Remember, write down this equation first. Although very clumsy, but please, molar mass of PbO. Although you think that it is very trouble, yes, for the first moment, please build up your foundation. Write down the English first, and then put down the number. 10.55 gram is the mass of PbO. Molar mass of PbO is Pb is 207.2 plus 10. Molar mass must have this unit, gram per mole. Again, take out your calculator. Everybody, 唔好就咁望啊，唔好就咁托頭啊，攞計數機，計數機都冇帶就唔係讀 chem 啊，下堂開始啊，因為我哋講 chemical calculation 啦，你連計數機都唔撳嘅話咧就論盡啦。取括弧207.2冇嘅，你又帶咗手機又攞手機撳，點都要撳，因為我哋要教大家。撳完之後係一個 very large number， 唔係 sorry，a very long number， 抄幾多個小數點？嗱，抄唔係計小數點，計 significant figures 4個，即係抄0.0472要 round up 0.04727 with unit mole， 其實就 number 就應該冇嘅，不過我習慣係寫埋 mole 嘅 ，OK 得唔得？不過 bear in mind keep 呢個 number 呢個 raw number for the calculation in the next step， 你可以 save 咗佢先，我唔知點 save 法啊，我就會 keep 住佢喺度計落去嘅，唔會整到佢消失嘅。但係手仔咧唔好同我抄晒。唔好同我抄晒計數機裏面顯示嘅所有數字，千祈唔好做呢啲嘢。In science 咧，我哋唔會咁做嘅。Maybe it is in mathematics, but not in science。唔好抄晒，因為咧，我哋開個 Marcus meeting 咧 ，Marcus has made comment about the candidate performance. He said that some candidate copy all the numbers from the calculator. Actually, it is meaningless. Okay? Copy to 4 significant figures only. And then now bear in mind, do not turn it off. Keep this raw number for the next step calculation. But according to the mole ratio, mole ratio of Mg to PbO is 1:1. 1:1. Now, I deliberately change it to blue because I give you tips. This step, you may skip this step later, okay, in examination or in exercise. But now, to have a clear understanding, I will write down this step. Because the mole ratio is 1:1, therefore, I'm able to work out the number of moles of Mg. It must be equal to the same number. Understand? And then on the other hand, number of moles of Mg is equal to the mass of Mg over molar mass of Mg. It should be equal to M over 24.3. These two are working for the same substance, number of mole of Mg. Therefore, they should be equal to each other. That means M over 24.3 is equal to 0.04727. Take a look, calculator. I have said that keep this number, do not turn it off, okay? And then times 24.3 times 24.3. Once again, it is a very long number. Copy up to 2 decimal places. 1.15 with unit rand. Why? Why do I need to copy up to 2 decimal places? It is because of the question. The question gives you information already. Please look at the question. This is the mass given. Can you see that? Up to 2 decimal places. Can you see that? That means in this experiment, it is using an electronic balance with sensitivity up to 2 decimal places. Up to 2 decimal places. In other words, in our calculation for the answer, please round it up to 2 decimal places. Follow the significant figures given from the equation, but not for mole. Number mole, please, mole, please round it up to 4 significant figures. Significant figures. 有效數字 you have already learned in mathematics 個零嗰個唔計㗎好，而家 break， 我想大家咧試做一條嘅。算啦，去 recess 啦，唔做啦，費事你咁辛苦。睇 take a break 先，翻嚟繼續。 我哋又繼續咯。係啊，我哋又嚟啦。我盡量咧，今堂咧做多啲example嘅大家，跟住然之後咧就再俾你哋做example 啊。example 12.12。Already made 12.12 carbonate 嗱，所有同學第一個 step 都係中三個 step， 即係咩意思咧？而 formula sodium hydrogen carbonate formula NaHCO3 why sodium ion Na 正一 hydrogen carbonate ion HCO3 full. Therefore, formula for sodium hydrogen carbonate is NaHCO3. Decompose means heat alone, 分解 to form sodium carbonate. Formula Na2CO3. 如果你能夠寫 formula 咧 without thinking 咧，即係你好熟啦。如果仲要咁樣諗咧 ，anyway 啦，呢個中四啦，我都會寫多幾次俾大家睇啦。We can see that the mole ratio is 2 to 1. Therefore, the formula of sodium carbonate is Na2CO3. To form carbon dioxide, CO2, and H2O. 好啦 ，What is the mass of sodium carbonate produced when 6.36 grams of sodium hydrogen carbonate undergoes complete decomposition? There are steps again. Please follow along. Step 1, chemistry must be equation. Example 12.12. 一陣間我俾你做啦嚇。The first step must be equation. The reactant is sodium hydrogen carbonate. Decompose means without adding anything. Heat alone. To form 做咩啊？我哋想幫老師啊？邊位啊？咁幸福啊？我未錯翻咗。嗱，但係咁喎，其唔記得嘅喎。不過見係唔粗就唔計咯。一定要還邊班先？你邊班？6 stop 我哋。你而家用啊？好，佢都用唔使用。我生日係你考試嘅時候。係宿舍。通常都係考試慶乜鬼粥啊？日日都係我生日。耶！又老一歲。好，跟住 sodium carbonate Na2CO3 CO2 and H2O. Please change the color pen. Very obvious. Is it balanced? 呢個都識 balance 咗未？ 好明顯，包咗未？收啦！我見你笑得咁開心，包咗未？點包 ？How to balance this equation? 2 in front of 乜嘢 ？NaHCl3 仲有冇？冇啦，包晒啦，幾簡單。嗱，講真啊，我哋 balance equation 咧，我由中三開始教㗎。去到今天咧，我覺得你哋 balance equation 嘅能力咧，其實已經高咗好多。以往咧，中四呢個階段先至講 balance equation 咧，死㗎啦，啲同學死晒㗎啦。啊，點解死？完全唔知道點做，冇概念咯，冇概念咯。咁我覺得你哋 at least 咧都唔會走去同我搞嗰啲 formula 啦，改嗰啲 coefficient 啫。And then this must be the first step. Second step, put down the information. The question asked me to work for the mass of sodium carbonate when 6.30 grams of sodium hydrogen carbonate is completely reacted. So very obvious that what should be the next step? Work for 邊個 ？Number of moles of 邊個可以 work 到？冇錯 ，NaHCl3。一陣間我睇你哋 example 嘅時候咧，我會想所有同學都同我做好嘅功夫先。It is equal to the mass of NaHCl3 over molar mass of NaHCl3。所有同學都要 follow 我呢個步驟，得唔得？打好個根底先，唔好跳 step， 唔好跳，特別 Ruby。你最中意跳啦，知唔知道？因為你又傾緊偈啊！好啦，等完乜嘢咧？6.3除 molar mass of NaHCl3， Na 係23 ，H1 C 12 O 3個 O，and then 啦 ，everybody 啦，又係啦，要 take out your calculator 啦。6.3除括弧23加1加12加48刪括弧0.075，好靚嘅呢個數，抄晒佢啦，0.075 mol。嗱，but something special 啦 for 呢個 situation 啦 ，I deliberately change it to blue。一陣間你做咧，又盡量用多啲顏色。其實顏色係喺 learning 嗰方面係會有用㗎，知唔知道 ？mol ratio 啦 ，mol of NaHCl3 over mole of Na2CO3。我唔中意咁，因為我通常都中意要揾邊個 mole 咧就寫分子嘅。Now I have to work for the mole of Na2CO3 because the question asked me to work out its mass. Make it be the numerator 分子。over mole of NaHCl3. According to the equation, it is equal to 1 over 2. 明唔明 ？Because of the coefficient, 睇唔睇到？ When 2 mole, it will form 1 mole. That means the mole ratio of this to that is equal to 1 over 2. Understand? 1 over 2. And then now, therefore, number of moles of 而家要計嘅 Na2CO3 is equal to 1 times number of moles of NaHCl3, which is already found 0.075 除2 which is 0.0375 mole。This number of mole is found already。其實呢個 step 咧，稍後我又會轉㗎啦。不過而家氹氣少少寫 number of moles of sodium carbonate is equal to the mass of sodium carbonate over molar mass of sodium carbonate, which is equal to M over 2 sodium, 1 carbon, 3 oxygen. These two numbers should be equal to each other because they are working for the same substance. 0.0375 must be equal to m over 46加12加48 106. Therefore, m is equal to 呢個乘0.0375。好啦，所有同學撳一撳機啦，撳一撳機。計數機係咪撳到3.975？係咪？抄幾多個小數點？點解兩個？啱，冇錯，因為題目有一個 mass 嘅 data given， 見唔見到6.30？見唔見到？即係話佢用緊個磅咧係 up to 2 decimal places 啫。咁所以抄嘅時候咧就 round up to 2 decimal places with units gram. Of course, like mathematics, mass of sodium carbonate form 寫多啲英文啊 form is equal to 3.98 gram. 3.98 gram. 好啦，而家咧，我想俾時間啊，所有同學都做俾我睇啦，喺呢一個notes 嗰度做 self test 12.12， 做喺呢度，知唔知道？明唔明？做喺呢個 file 度。好，我俾8分鐘時間大家做，8分鐘。做完之後咧，就做 class practice 12.8。嗱，我寫低佢，你哋嘅 exercise 而家就做 self test 12.12同埋 class practice 12.8。Tommy 係啊，做咩啊？好卡，個 Tommy 好卡。係咯。卡咗啊？哦。咁你哋做喺紙上高啦，跟住影出嚟啦，喺 WhatsApp 嗰度啊，好冇 ？Another way 啦。你哋做落去你哋自己個 iPad 度啦。如果我呢度見到好多同學都有試過 iPad 啦，跟住咧就 send 過嚟 WhatsApp 或者你哋可以 post 去呢度喎。如果你冇手機嘅話，你 post 去個 stream 嗰度啊，好嘛？明唔明？將你嘅幅相 post 去個 stream 嗰度 ，OK？ 好啦，而家同學做啦，開始啦。哇！葉家偉咁快嘅？唔係啊，我跟住你咁。唔緊要。哇 ，Swastika 有發，我又係寫緊 notes，大師 ，it's OK 㗎。你跟住 and 咧可以變成自己嘅 notes 㗎嘛，係咪？如果你用 iPad 嘅話，唔夠位嘅話咧，後邊無任歡迎啊嚇，寫翻個名，即係喺後邊啊。你話我之前個頁數用咗咯喎，咁點算咧？咪寫翻個名喺後邊再做都得。我俾10分鐘時間大家做2條，我加個鬧鐘先10分鐘。 啲 improvement 咧就幾好，剪咗條題目擺埋喺個 page 嗰度，非常之好啊！大家要用相信啊！咁你哋都係喎，可以咧影咗個係咪我哋咁辛苦啦，冇打啦。如果你冇嘅話，你就用手寫，寫完之後你張相算啦。好辛苦啊，咁樣打，真係好辛苦啊！你做喺紙上高啦，係啦。你又係好辛苦用手指，如果太辛苦係在紙上高啊，咁在紙上高跟住聽出嚟唔緊要㗎，唔係一定即係如果你冇自己嘅 iPad。Copy down the equation, put down the useful data down below the equation. Okay? More question. Now the first step, very obvious, is to write down the equation, balance equation. The second step write down data given. Data given. 唔識嘅話咧，我睇睇文明恩而家做緊啦。Very obvious. The first step is to work out the number mole Na, which is mass of Na over molar mass of Na, which is 0.37，係咪啊？好叻個嗬！有冇小數點嘅一個啊？8.51除23 ，OK 啊？好，繼續啦 ，mole ratio 咯喎，跟住要用。Good. So 2 to 1. Where to start? Where? Steps. Where? Okay. I'm open for chat. C'est pas là, c'est mass of. For 3 months. You are 3 months WhatsApp 啊？哦，OK，應該係 up to you。冇 ratio 啦。Why you let the number more? Why you let the mass of water? What is the question? The question is asking for what? Ask you to calculate 乜嘢？係咯，要 calculate 乜嘢？4. So you let the wrong unknown. The focus is wrong. And then another more Na is equal to mass of Na over molar mass of Na. Molar mass of Na times 2. It should be atomic mass of Na. The coefficient gives you nothing, just ratio, okay? Not its own number, not data. So y times 2. It shouldn't times 2. What is the molar mass of Na? Na alone, Na alone. Oh, that's why I asked you to write down this step. This step helps you to clear your concept. So now I have to work for Na only, not the equation Na only. So it should be 23. Very common, right? This mistake is very, very common. Here, Sarah will mix up coefficient. The meaning of coefficient with this atomic number or mass number or molar mass mix things up. Equation gives you only ratio between reactants and products. Okay, not its own value, not their own data. Yes, yeah. So let it be M. H2. The substance H2 is equal to yes. So what should be the number mole of H2?乘以 really 諗清楚，乘一除每2摩就出1粒，明唔明？我好中意嘅時候咧，小學老師咧教數學，呢個大數，呢個細數，每2粒先至出1粒，咁啊好明顯啦，佢嘅摩除咗就係除咗摩，明唔明？明唔明？好啦 ，everybody please look at convenience answer 啦 ，do very well， 做得好好啊啲步驟。咁我冇時間，一陣間我會逐個同我睇，我睇到啲 common mistake 出嚟啦，已經嚇。First of all, now pay attention. This step is very important. Although later you will miss this step, but not now, not in the mid-year examination. Do not miss this step. Number mole of Na is equal to the mass of Na over molar mass of Na. Molar mass of Na. Because Sarah made a mistake already. She mixed up with coefficient. Okay? Now I'm talking about only molar mass of Na. So it should be 23. Understand? Don't mix up with coefficient. Very common mistake. And then the mole ratio of N2 to H2 is 2 to 1. Because the equation tells us that 2 to 1. Therefore, the number of mole of H2 is equal to half times 0.37. 有冇人明點解要除2啊？個比例聽住咯喎，用少少心去計數。個比例係每2粒 Na 先至出1粒 H2。 Is that right? That is the information given from the equation. 每兩粒 Na 先至出一粒 H2。Now, this number of mole of Na is found. It is 0.37. Very obvious. I have to divide it by 2. Divided it by 2 to work for the number of mole of H2. Understand? 嗱，我自己記得咧，以前咧，我仔細個時候咧，我知道原來小學個老師係咁教㗎。佢話2:1呢個大數，呢個細數 ，right？ 2係咪一定大數？係咪？夾錢，我夾嘅錢係你哋嘅倍，我夾咗出嚟嘅錢係咪大過你哋嘅數？大數、細數 ，now 我要計細數，所以咪除2咯。除個原因係2:1 ，understand？ OK？ 唔 not always 除2㗎 ，sometimes maybe 3:1嘅話就要除3，明唔明？係。H2O？ 你俾嚟做乜啫？有題目又冇嗌我揾。Of course, I can make use of the ratio, but the question asked me to calculate the mass of H2O. 哇，使唔使複雜啊？唔使喎。好。使唔使啊？唔使喎。我同你嘅比例啫，我使唔使用我哋加位嘅比例啫？係咯。我已知我計你做乜嘢跳過啊？要透過列加位啫？唔需要噶嘛。我同你已經有個比例啦。OK， 我每2蚊你就要捐1蚊。That is our ratio. Now 我捐咗100蚊，咁你咪要捐50蚊咯。做乜嘢透過你啫？我透過你咁點啊？每兩個我就要同2個你2:1，即係話我要捐100，你就要捐100。OK， 得啦，100，跟住又要計做乜啫？做乜透過第三者？唔係好明咩啊？就係個 reaction 嘅意思嘛，個意思就係每2個佢就會同2個佢 react， 雙2個佢同埋1個佢啊嘛，之間係有晒關係啊嘛，有晒 mole ratio 嘅關係啊嘛 ，OK？ 咁而家已知嘅係佢，要計嘅係佢，我咪抽佢2個出嚟咯 ，only 睇佢2個已經夠㗎啦。唔緊要㗎，我都係個比例就係每2個佢 react 咗咧，就會出1個佢咯。用翻麵包蛋、荷包蛋、番茄，用翻番茄芝士蛋，2塊麵包就會夾2隻蛋，太陽蛋就會出2樣唔知咩，唔知話咩好啲，唔知咩好啲，再加2樣嘢，唔識畫啊，真係唔識畫，係啦。咁個比例咪就係2:1咯。嗱呢度畫錯咗，呢度冇畫㗎。to form 2個唔知乜嘢，再加1個唔知乜嘢嘛。咁個比例咪2:1咯。係嗱，你可以用邊一個比例都得㗎，比例啫嘛。嗱，我哋翻落嚟唔得，你真係唔得。我哋翻落去呢個即係撈蛋字嗰個 case 啊，嗰個 teaching 係喺邊度啊？ Teaching 係咪呢度嘅裏面呢個？你問題你想用邊兩個人嘅比例啫嘛？我點解一定要諗埋列加位啫？係咯，係咯，我係咯，係咯，點解一定要諗埋列加位啫？嗱，好似呢個 case 咁樣，就係兩個我就會同一個佢 react， 咁就分兩個 H2 啊嘛。唔睇佢，唔睇佢，佢同佢嘅比例係咪2:2啊？係咪真係1:1啊？即係4個佢咪會分4個佢咯？好啦，又或者揞住佢，個比例就1:2。如果我已經知道咗佢嘅 number of mole 係2，咁佢嘅 number of mole 咪4咯。所以咧，聽住我唔知啊，我唔知大家點解咁樣咧？比例啫嘛，唔係一定要溝埋列加位嚟計㗎。係咯。當我知道咗我列加位同你嘅比例係2:1:2嘅時候，只要我知道我實數，我就可以計到佢。梗唔係咯，呢個公式嘅意思喎。唔明，慢慢消化下先，用時間。好，唔得，你用多啲荷包蛋啊、麵包啊嗰啲啊，或者複雜少少。呢個用呢個，呢個意思即係咩啊？一個佢就會同兩個佢 react 嘅時候咧，就會分一個佢同兩個佢。嗱，即係點樣咧？唔好意思啊，大家等一陣啦。我假設實際上有4個佢，話俾我聽，要同幾多個 O2 react？ 8個兩式1:2嘛，8個。點解？應該唔係啊？明佢問咩？咁咧呢度咧咪出一個 Ch12咯，兩個 Ch12咯。咁啊比例啦，你用邊個比例都得㗎。呢度同呢度係咪1:1啊？喂，大家係咪1:1啊？如果有4粒佢話，咪出4粒佢咯。OK， 又或者呢個同呢個2:1啊，2:1。如果有8個佢，咪會出4個佢咯，就係咁啦。個比例啫嘛，你做乜諗加數啫？比例 is ratio 比例。好，得咗，好啦，goodbye class， 走啦。問咩啊？前面嗰個數即係咪數嘅？嚇？比例啊？呢啲係比例，呢啲係實數。呢個比例。冇錯，係當一個佢就會同兩個佢react，個比例就1:2。咁咧就會當一個佢同兩個佢。All these number 咧 represent 嘅比例。個1字。即係我哋要揾佢嘅 number of。我哋就唔會將 n 呢個係比例啫嘛，我實數點諗咧？實數咧就係 mass over molar mass 嚟揾，係用呢一條公式嚟揾實數。actual 唔係，呢個係比例 ratio 咧就係、如果我捐100蚊，你就要捐50蚊。呢次需要 ratio 2倍1倍。實際我捐咗幾多錢啊？唔係未必可以係1萬蚊。 實數點樣揾咧？就係UT 之前我哋公式揾嘅 mass over molar mass 揾嘅，呢個就揾實數。係啦，揾實數。實數，好啦，實數原來我捐咗1000蚊，咁你要捐幾多？係咯，實數明白，所以個2:1只不過一個比例，一個 ratio， 話俾我聽，其實我捐錢，我夾錢，我哋應該攞幾多份數出嚟。而家身邊佢嘅 actual number 搞清楚呢兩樣嘢。coefficient 係 ratio。我哋嘅關係 ，actual number 係用 mass over molar mass 嘅，暫時嚟放咗呢條式啫。點啊你？其實我係明嘅，但係我好少。你明鬼？你明鬼？係咯，你唔明啲咩啫？我都唔明你唔明啲乜嘢。我都唔明。做多啲數先啦，做多啲先啦。